Welcome, everyone. My name is Caren Prentice. I'm a disciple of Goswami Kriyananda's, and we'd love to welcome you to the Temple of Kriya Yoga. Wherever you are, whether you're watching in the morning, the evening, the afternoon, watching it on the recording, we're so happy you're with us. And today got something very special to share with you. We'll be sharing the ritual of forgiveness, which is a ritual that Goswami Kriyananda taught us and has proven to be a really important part of what I would call our spiritual unfolding into maturity. And so let's begin. Let's begin by just a short minute of meditation and settling ourselves into this present moment so we can move into this very important deep work of forgiveness at this very auspicious time of the fall equinox. So please join me in becoming present in your body, feeling your feet on the floor if you're sitting in a chair, ankles uncrossed, feet flat on the floor. And then gently letting your awareness move up the physical body through the calves, into the knees, into the thighs, and into your buttocks, feeling the weight of your body grounding you in this moment, right here, right now. And let's take a nice deep breath, a nice deep inhale into the belly. And as you exhale through the mouth, gently soften your face, soften your shoulders, soften your torso and your hips. And today, as we do these beginning breaths to release any gripping, to let go of any tightness or holding on, let's do it with a recognition that we're practicing doing in the physical body what we're about to do with our minds and our hearts. Okay, so when you're ready, in your own pace, another gentle, deep inhale. Exhale, letting go of tightness in the face, softening, softening, letting go of any gripping in the shoulders, softening, releasing, releasing. And again, one more nice, deep, gentle inhale. And this time, as you exhale, see if you can release any holding or gripping in the chest, in the gut, in the abdomen. Softening into this moment, releasing everything that came before. Showing up right here, right now. And now let's bring our attention to the breath, cool in the nostrils as you inhale. And just noticing that gentle change of temperature as you exhale. And as we do this, we gently begin to turn our attention inward, away from the outer world into the internal world. And we can do this by, with our next inhale, following the breath into the heart, into the chest, into the center of the chest. We call it the heart center. And with each breath, excuse me, see if you can sense the breath greeting the heart and the heart opening to the breath, opening, softening with delight. And just allowing yourself to experience whatever that sensation is in the subtle realm of the breath greeting the heart and the heart greeting the breath. And now just allow yourself to come back into your bodies, a little more aware of the subtle energies, the subtle realms. And when you're ready, just take a gentle inhale. And as you exhale, you can open your eyes. And here we are, right here, right now, greeting the fall equinox, the energy of the fall equinox with a sincere attunement to finding balance. And the way we find balance, one of the ways we find balance in our internal realm is by forgiving, by letting go of all the things we've been carrying and carrying with us, some of us for decades, some of us for years, maybe for months, maybe just days. But it's these resentments and hurts and grudges that we hold on to so tightly that pull us off balance. We try to move in the world and we're adjusting and adapting for these places inside us that have shut down, that have become hard and closed off because we're holding on to something instead of letting it go. So let's begin today by let me just let you know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking a little bit about forgiveness, just taking some time to share with you how important it is and why it's so important, and talk a little bit about the nature of the mind that keeps us gripping to these old hurts and these old wounds. There's reason for this, and sometimes very good reason. And it's when we recognize that these hurts we're holding on to are really hurting us. This is when we begin to mature spiritually and we become willing to let go. And after we've talked about this for a little bit, we're actually going to go into the ritual itself. And I'll lead you through the ritual. So if you've done this kind of work before, and really you're here for the ritual, then go ahead and just, um, if you're watching on YouTube, just kind of scroll forward, maybe about 10-15 minutes, and we'll be starting the ritual then. And we'll close our meditation today with ritual. It takes probably 20, maybe more like 30 minutes total, but it's worth it. If you want some freedom, if you want to feel freer, more balanced, like, like you've just let down a load and you can step into the next few moments, the next few days, the next weeks and months as we go deeper into the winter solstice and the winter time. Freer. This is how we do it. This is one of the ways we do it. So let's talk a little bit about forgiveness. And often the main first thing we want to talk about is, why are we not forgiving? Why are we not letting go? And one of the things I've learned, and I know my students have shared with me, is one of the main obstacles to forgiveness is we feel like we're letting someone else off the hook. We're letting them off the hook. And I'd like to explore that for just a few moments, because in the Western culture, right, we have this idea that if somebody has hurt us, if somebody has done something we might consider wrong or bad, or we have judged as wrong or bad, let's put it that way, that they need to be punished. They need to pay a price. There's a consequence for that kind of behavior or actions. And in meditation, we kind of go at it from a little different angle, where it's not so much about punishing, it's more about realizing, it's more about discovering what closes down the heart and what opens up the heart. And so we're in meditation, we're learning to let go of this notion that we're going to be judged, that we're going to be punished, and that that's the way to handle these things. And so I want to take just a moment to go back to maybe where some of this judgment and need for paying a price is might be coming from. And so I want to go back to the Christian idea that I know I was raised with as a really good Catholic kid. And maybe even if you're not a Christian within the Western culture, this idea is so prevalent, where we're going to live a life. And when we finish this life, we're going to go to the other side and we're going to be judged. And if we pass this judgment, we will be allowed to enter heaven, or will be sent to hell, or depending on your tradition, purgatory, where you'll burn off all those sins before you can enter heaven. So we're just right from the get-go in the Christian culture, we are given and awareness that something done that's not good is judged and punished. And what I want to do is take us back a little bit now to the word in Aramaic for forgiveness. The word for forgiveness in Aramaic is shwak. Shwak. And what shwak means is to untie, to untie, because there's a recognition, and this is not just in Aramaic, but in so many other traditions, there's a recognition that when I can't forgive you, I have literally bound myself to you. I've tied myself to you, and I am carrying you with me now wherever I go, whatever I do. And so, what I find so beautiful about this concept, if you'll bear with me for a few moments, is if we can go back to the Christian teaching, the final teaching of Jesus as he was being crucified on the cross was, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. And I think that that final teaching is worthy of a little, let's break it down just a little bit. What could be worse? Because sometimes we think there's nothing you can do that is forgivable. It's something is unforgivable. And here in the story of Jesus is somebody who was tortured, humiliated, nailed to a cross, stabbed, and with all of that was able to say, it doesn't matter what was done here. I'm asking to forgive them. And what he doesn't just say, Father, forgive them. He says, they know not what they do. And so what he's giving us a teaching of is that it's not just about ignoring what was done or forgetting what was done. It's about having understanding and compassion for what was done. So we say, forgive them, and we bring in compassion. We understand what was behind the action or the behavior. And in many cases, what we've learned with forgiveness is that in many, many cases, people don't really realize what they're doing. And if we can begin to extend to someone this recognition that if they really, really knew what they were doing, if they really understood it, they would maybe do it differently. But for many of us, when we don't know any better, we inadvertently or sometimes consciously hurt people. And people inadvertently and consciously or unconsciously hurt us. And what we're learning to do when we move into this realm of forgiveness is to recognize one really fundamental truth that as humans, we are going to hurt people, sometimes deliberately, sometimes not. And people are going to hurt us, sometimes deliberately and sometimes not. And part of our evolution as spiritually mature souls is to accept that. Let's just accept that from the get go. And when that starts to happen, when we experience that, let's recognize and give each of us the grace of realizing that if we really, really understood what we were doing, we'd probably do it differently if we could. But in every single moment, each one of us, me, you, all of us, are doing the best we can with the forces at work within us. Okay, that's a lot. It's a little general, but what I'd like to come back to is this idea that we forgive not to let someone off the hook because we are learning to understand that everybody is doing the best they can in every moment. And if we can understand why somebody's done something, that opens our heart into compassion. But the main reason we're forgiving is so that our heart doesn't become closed down and hardened. Our heart stays open. Our heart stays open, and we can move through life with an open heart. Because, in our human mind, we have this thought, if I close it down tight, for this person because they're not deserving of my forgiveness. We then in our mind think, but I can open my heart to all these other people over here. And the truth of the matter is, your heart is either closed or it's open. It's if we close it down over here, it's going to stay closed down even when we try to go over here. So forgiveness is what brings our internal world into balance in the sense that we have opened our heart, we have opened our soul, we have opened our mind to living without the burden of the grudges, the resentments, and the hurts of the past. So I want to come back to this idea of schwuk, this untying, of releasing. I've been moving around like this for quite a bit. I've been preparing this whole live stream, trying to move through my computer, making sure it's plugged in, making sure that I've got everything I need with these tied to me that are connected to these big things. And what I'd like you to consider for a moment is that these things this is the grudge I have for my dad or somebody. This is the grudge or the hurt that I'm carrying from a betrayal that happened a while ago. And I carry them with me and I try and move. And everywhere I go, this thing is encumbering me. It's entangling. It's holding me back. It's limiting me. And what's interesting as I was doing this morning is that I was adjusting eventually to this burden that was attached to me. I was adjusting and adapting for this one, and I was changing my emotions. And we all do this. We all do this. We hold these grudges and the resentments, and we have adjusted and adapted to that hardness, that limitation, that constriction within us. We don't even know anymore what it feels like to be free and open hearted and completely and totally present in each moment because we're so used to moving and acting with this. But here's what happens if I untie this and I free myself from my resentment to my dad and I let it go, it's like, oh, it's like freedom. I've let it go. It's palpable. If I can untie and let go of this resentment for that betrayal and just recognize and try and understand what was really going on, and I can tell you right now, it's like, oh, I don't have to try and adjust and adapt for all that anymore. And that's what forgiveness does for the psychic, the emotional, the things we can't touch, things that are limiting us and knocking us off balance. It lets them go. The last thing I want to say about this before we move into the ritual is that one of the things I've learned by doing this ritual every year at the fall equinox is that these things I've been holding and letting go, after a little while, they kind of come back, but they come back smaller and littler until the day comes where they're not even there at all. They're not even there at all. Because forgiveness, it's not a one, often, sometimes it is, but often it's a process. It's a process of letting go little by little by little till the day comes where you realize you really are free. You've let it go. You've done the forgiveness. So here's what I'd like to do. Excuse me. I'd like to take us into the ritual of forgiveness. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it beforehand so you can prepare. What we're going to do is I'm going to encourage you, if this is the first time you're doing it, you're on your own, you're in your home, is to do it standing up. Because what we're going to do is start the ritual by facing east to the rising sun. And then we're going to turn to the north. We'll turn to your left to the north, then to the west, and left again to the south, and back to the east. And then we'll take a few moments with the forgiveness we've done then just to kind of, what's the word, assimilate process what we've experienced. And if you have a journal, it's a good time to journal. And if you're watching this on the live stream, I suggest you just pause and give yourself a little time to journal. And then we'll go to the second part of the ritual where we'll do it again. Same thing, going around. And at the end, if you'd like to have your journal ready, you can pause, journal for a little bit, and then we'll come back for the third part of the ritual where we bring it all together with a closing meditation. And it's a beautiful process. If you're not in a situation where you can easily stand up and that feels too awkward to you, then I suggest as we do it that you mentally face east by imagining you're facing the rising sun. And you mentally turn to the north where you mentally imagine you're facing the cold winter landscape of the north. Then you mentally turn to the left, to the west, where you mentally imagine and sense yourself facing the sunset. And then the last one, we mentally face south, the south facing windows with the warmth of the sun facing you. And then we come back to the east. So that's what we'll be doing. You can do it physically or mentally. And what I'm going to suggest is that as things come up with the meditation, as emotions come, memories come up, that you just allow them to arise and see what insight might arise. If it arises and you have an understanding and you can let it go, that's wonderful. But it may arise and you find yourself clamping down and saying, nope, I'm not ready to let that go. I'm not ready to forgive that. Then maybe the question becomes why. And you take a moment to just explore, why am I not willing to let this go? And you may be surprised at some of the answers that come up because this ritual opens up a portal into the subconscious, a place where these hurts, these grippings are being held. And they want to be released, they want to be freed. And so if my experience is, if you open yourself in that moment, just why, something may arise and bring you an insight. Often it's because it makes us feel strong. It makes us feel right. We've talked already about the sense that they need to pay. I'm letting them off the hook. And in those moments, we remember again the teaching that when I won't forgive somebody, it's like me drinking poison and expecting them to die. It's like I am drinking the poison of the hate, the hurt, the resentment, the holding, expecting that it's going to affect them somehow. And one of the things that forgiveness has taught us is that that person may not even be aware of all of this toxic gunk that we're holding. So it's on our own interest to let this go, let this go, let this go. And the last thing that's fairly common is that what we're finding that we're not being willing to forgive in another person is something that we're not willing to see in ourselves. And if we can use this ritual as an opening to a recognition of maybe something we're doing that we're not okay with in ourselves, we can forgive ourselves for that. And so the very last thing I like to say before doing this ritual is that at any point in this ritual, the forgiveness for yourself may arise, the recognition that you need to forgive yourself for something. And when that comes, go with it. Don't go with it. There's no right time for that. Go with it. Okay? So I think that's the most beautiful, succinct main points of doing the ritual. And what I'm going to invite us to do now is to come into the position that you would like to take for the ritual. Excuse me, whether that's seated or standing. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and come into a recognition that we are going to move from this physical realm the physical body, feeling your feet, maybe hip width apart, firmly planted and connected to the earth. And if you're sitting, feeling your sit bones firmly grounded and connected to the earth. The important thing is feeling the stability and at the same time the support. It's as if the earth or your chair is rising up to hold you and support you during the ritual. And with this support and this stability, we take a few breaths and we come back to where we began our meditation this morning by letting go of any gripping in the physical body, using your exhale to soften your face, soften your jaw, soften the shoulders, soften the heart and the gut and the hips. And then we gently, gently let our attention come to the breath, following the breath into the heart, letting the breath greet the heart and allowing the heart to open to the breath. And as we rest in our heart, in this heart space, let's feel ourselves connected. Let your heart gently, that feeling just gently expand and feel yourself connected to the goodness and the wonder of life. Feel yourself connected to, if you are a Kriya yoga practitioner, your Ishta. If you're not, feel yourself connected to life itself, the beauty and the glory. Feel yourself connected to the God of your understanding. Just feel yourself connected and supported. And here's where we'll begin. And now inhale through the nose. Turn your head to the left and gently double exhale through the mouth. And as you bring your head forward, as you inhale, inhale with a sense of a sincere desire to release the gripping and the hold of past hurts, past resentments, past grudges, so that you can be free. And let's call on the wisdom of the wisdom of the divine within you to give you the strength and the courage to see what needs to be seen, to release what you want to release, so that we can, each of us, so that you can step into a place of freedom. May we recognize and neutralize the karmic forces that are holding us to the hurts, angers, shame, and resentments of the past, that I may be free. May I become a spiritually mature soul who is willing to understand and forgive others, to understand and forgive myself. Through the power and the grace of this ritual, may I be free. May I be whole. May I be balanced. And now, facing east in the way that you have chosen for this ritual, bringing your attention into the heart center, repeat after me. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in my deeds, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And now rest here for a few moments and just allow whatever begins to arise to arise. If nothing comes, just wait. And I'll repeat this again for you so you can continue just holding this as maybe a little mantra as we go through the technique. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed, and may the karma be complete. And now gently, gently turn to your left, facing to the north. And repeat after me. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And rest here. And I'll repeat it once again. As you rest here, just allow what arises to arise. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. Just allow what arises to arise. If tears come, just let them come. This is your moment. This is not the time to try and stuff it or suppress it or ignore it. Allow it to come up and just notice it. Just notice what's arising. And now, very gently, turn once again to the left, facing the west, the setting sun. And repeat after me. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And I'll repeat it for you. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And gently turning to the left, once again, we face the south and repeat after me. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And I'll repeat it for you. Stay where you are. To all those whom I have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I am sorry. I ask your forgiveness. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And once again, now we turn to the left and we return to the east. And rest here for a few moments. Rest here and allow yourself to gently process and reflect on what has arisen and your response to what has arisen. No right or wrong. Just show up for your experience and allow it to reveal to you what is ready to be healed and what maybe you're not ready to heal. And it's okay. And for those of you who might be watching this later on the live stream recording, if you want to take a little more time to write in your journal or reflect, feel free to pause the video at this point. For those of you who are joining me live, let's come back into our awareness of this moment, feeling our feet grounded and supported, keeping our heart open to what we've just experienced, and perhaps allowing ourselves to stay present, keep the heart open. Keep the heart open just a little more, to see if we can find a little more balance as we continue to the second half of the ritual, or the second part of the ritual. So, with your eyes closed, checking in with your body, as your face tightened up, let's soften it with an exhale. As your jaw tightened, have your shoulders tightened, and just gently, gently releasing any gripping or holding that's come into the physical body. And once again, let's take a nice, gentle inhale. Exhale through the mouth and soften your head, your shoulders, your heart, your gut, your hips, your legs. Soften, soften, soften. As we move into the next section of the ritual. So closing as your eyes facing east, repeat after me so that you can hear it as sincerely as you possibly can. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or indeed. I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And this is that point in the ritual where it might help to imagine yourself untying yourself, releasing yourself from those cords that connect you, letting go, letting go, letting go. And I'll repeat the words once again, and you can just listen and allow them to work as a mantra as you see what is arising. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And now gently turning to your left to face the north. Repeat after me. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And if strong emotions begin to arise, just allow them to arise and move through you. Allow them to arise and move through. Release, release, release. And now turning to your left, facing the north. I've lost track of where we are. I hope we're in the north. Gently repeat after me. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And I'll say it again. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I forgive you. I release you. Let the hurts be healed. Let the karma be complete. And now let's turn to the left again and face the setting sun. I think we did 2 rounds in the north. That's okay. And now we're facing west to the setting sun. staying present for what's arising, we say, to all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed. I forgive you. I release you. Let the hurts be healed. Let the karma be complete. And I'll say it for you, to all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed. I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And now turning once again to the left, facing south. Repeat after me. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed. I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And as you allow what arises to arise, stay with it, stay with it. And I will say this for you. To all those who have hurt me, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, in thought, in word, or in deed, I forgive you. I release you. May the hurts be healed. May the karma be complete. And now, for the last time, gently turning to the left, coming back to the east. Take a few moments to reflect on what has arisen, what has come up, what insights have arisen, and reflecting on your response and your action, your mind's response, your body's response. With compassion and kindness, there's no right or wrong. Just allow what wants to be healed to be healed, and what you're not ready to heal, just notice it and be kind and gentle in your noticing. And for those of you watching on live stream, if you'd like to pause the video to take some time to reflect in your journal, it's a good time to do that. And for the rest of us, I'm going to invite you to stay with me as we bring the meditation to closure, the ritual to closure. But I encourage you to take some time afterwards to journal, to reflect, and maybe if you can, to give yourself an hour or so just in the silence and the quiet, maybe a nice, hot, quiet bath to just let go and release. And if you do decide to take a bath, as the water drains, as it drains from the tub, stay in the tub and feel that the water is carrying all of this with it. And allow yourself to rest in that feeling of freedom and release. And so let's conclude the ritual now, my dear ones, by simply coming back into our bodies, back into this present moment. And I'm going to invite you to call upon your Ishta. Call upon the God of your understanding, the forces that be, whatever it is that works for you, that you are connected to, the wisdom, the grace, the goodness of all. Call on this. Call on these energies to assist you in healing the memories that have arisen, to assist you in bringing balance back to your heart, to your spirit, to your mind, to your being, so that you may move forward free. And now let's send a blessing to all those who have come up during our meditation, to all the souls and beings. Let's allow ourselves to send a blessing of forgiveness to them. And I'm going to lead you in the loving kindness blessing that I use and invite you to join along with me. So we're going to use the word you and think of all the people who've come up in the process of this ritual. And we say, may you be at ease. May you feel safe and protected. May you be happy. May you feel loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. And may you be held in loving kindness so that you may be at peace. Just hold space for that for a moment and just notice how your heart responded. No right or wrong, just notice. And now let's send that same blessing to you for this deep, deep work that you've done. And gently, if you'd like to, just place your hand on your heart and repeat with me. May I be at ease. May I feel safe and protected and balanced. May I be free. May I be happy. May I feel loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. And may I hold myself with loving kindness so that I may be at peace. And through the power and the truth of this practice today, this beautiful ritual of forgiveness, may the hurts be healed. May all obstacles to freedom be dissolved. May the karma be dissolved. May it be complete. May you find your wholeness, dear ones. May you find your freedom. May you be free. Namaste. And thank you for joining us today at the temple. I'm going to just ring the bell and allow you to leave and holding some space and grace for this deep, deep work that you've done. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. And may you be triply blessed so that you will be an even greater blessing to others. Namaste.